Hi, Stephen from OWNorDisown. Well, excitement. I've got the Eluktronics Mag 15 here. You know, it's been hotly anticipated ever since Dave 2D showed it on his channel. Now this is the got the 2070 Max Q in it. Now if you want to see the 1660 Ti model, you know, Bob of all trades will be showing that one. So I've got the 2070 Max Q. It has the 9750H CPU like they all have. So they're the only two GPU options you have, and there's a $300 price difference. So this one's obviously $300 more expensive. And now this model has 64 gigabytes of RAM, but you can configure it down to, you know, starting at 16 gigabytes, 32 gigabytes, that type of thing. It's DDR4. 2666 megahertz RAM. It's Samsung RAM, and you'll notice when I open it up inside there are two M.2 slots as well, and Eluktronics like using the Intel 660p NVMe drives in there. So you can actually buy them directly from Eluktronics, in which the benefit of that, of course, is you can configure it to how you like it and do these repastes. So you can use the Cooler Master gel, or the liquid metal, you know, thermal grizzly conductor note, you know, to help with the cooling. Or you can use a stock paste. But you can actually buy stock paste ones from Amazon as well, slightly cheaper there. And I'll put links in the description below. So let's have a look at this. Will be a first, you know, unboxing, first look type of thing. I'll do some you know, some tests, some stress tests to see how hot it gets. Show you a bit of gameplay. And I'll do some comparisons with the Lenovo Y740, because that's also got a 2070 Max Q. So let's open it up. Now the box is very nice. You know, no brown paper box here. Now, of course, it's called a Mag 15 because it's made of magnesium alloy, making it nice and light. Of course, first off, we'll get the power supply. It's a fairly large brick, but it's a 230 watt brick. Now it's, as you'll see here, it's in collaboration with Intel. It's all designed with Intel here. And this is the quick start guide, so that's nice. All right, so they have good protection. Let's remove the film. Now pricing wise, mine of course is fully spec'd out with a 2 terabyte SSD as well as the 64 gigabytes of RAM. It's about 2,400. And of course mine's been repasted as well. I believe the CPU's got the liquid metal on it, and the GPU has the Cooler Master gel. And you'll notice here on the trackpad, as was with the Mech 17 that I had, you know, double pressing the top left hand corner will disable and re-enable the touchpad. So it's nice and smooth. It's fairly large too, and it'll use Windows Precision drivers, so that's very nice. I do like it. It's like a sandblasted finish in a way. It's a little bit, you know, it's not rough, but it's not smooth. And I think that should be good for fingerprints, you know. I think that's one good benefit here. And I do, you know what, you know, I hate stickers. There's actually no stickers. It's absolutely fantastic. Mechanical keys, and it uses brown switches. So that's nice. And nice square shaped keys. It makes it look nice and clean and sharp looking, I think. And you'll see some, I'm not sure if the camera picks it up, but the venting is down here at the bottom of the hinge, as well as, of course, you know, at the back you can see it. There's some heat sinks there. One thing I wanted to mention, despite these thin bezels, there's a webcam here, and it's a Windows Hello infrared webcam, so that is good to have. The base price for the 1660 Ti is about $1,500, so that's not too bad, and it promises to have some decent cooling in it. Now you can also, on the website for Eluktronics, if you don't like the design here, of course it's got the Eluktronics logo, you can configure it with Dbrand Skins as well. So the underside has a nice clean look as well. And of course when you unscrew it, you can see the good amount of air intakes there. That's very good. You'll see the speaker grills here, and these, what appear to be cutouts, would be for the plastic here, so that you've got the, of course, the Wi-Fi antennas running here, so it doesn't get impeded by the metal. Now, it is fairly rigid, considering it's very thin. Of course, it's magnesium alloy. And here you have a plate with a thermal pad to help cool the two M.2 slots that are available. And Eluktronics are populated with the Intel 660p. Here you have the Wi-Fi card. It's the Intel AX200 Wi-Fi 6. big battery taking up most of the space at the bottom. It's 94 watt hour, so that's fantastic. And of course you've got the two fans here, GPU and the CPU. And for heat pipes, you've got two shared ones there, of course. And well, you've actually got 3 shared ones, and a separate one here for the GPU. Heat sinks, we do have 4 heat sinks. Super nice. So I think the cooling on this should be fairly decent. Now, considering how thin this chassis is, the keys seem to have a decent amount of travel, and this is what it sounds like with the mechanical keys, the brown switches. You know, not too loud at all. So the keyboard is per key RGB backlit, which is nice. So you can actually pick, you know, click on a particular key itself and change its color should you wish. Change that there, or you can actually pick different patterns, like your raindrop mode, rainbow, that type of thing. And of course you can change, create different profiles, and you can change the speed and that type of stuff. And you can actually have what it's like on when it's plugged in or when it's on battery. You also have an option to change the light bar here, which is evident at the front, and that's a nice touch. And there you can see the difference in footprint. The Y740 here underneath is a good inch difference there. In fact, when you put them like that, much smaller. And of course, comparing it with the keyboards, there you go. Yeah, it's certainly a nice small machine. So if you're looking here at the ports starting at the left hand side, the Y740 on the bottom, you can clearly see the difference in size. It reminds me very much of the Razr 15. Very nice. So you have the Kensington lock, a USB 3.1 Type A port with power delivery, and separate microphone and headphone jacks. Very good. So around the back we have ports as well. Thunderbolt 3 port, HDMI 2.0, Ethernet jack, and the power connector. And on the right we have an SD card reader, fantastic, and 2 USB 3.1 Type A ports. All right, let's have a look at its weight. 4 pounds 2 ounces, and with the power brick, 5 pounds 15 ounces. Mag 15, Y740. Slightly brighter display here. I measured 490 nits on the Y740 versus 330 nits here, but still a good display on the Mag 15. Colors, I would say, are slightly better on the Y740, but I do like the very thin panel here, and it's still pretty rigid, you know, for such a thin panel. So the backlight bleed test, we've got the Y740 on the right and the Mag 15 on the left. And there is a little bit of backlight bleed there, I'd say, on the Mag 15 at the top and the bottom. Okay, quick speaker comparison. Mag 15 versus the Y740. Here's the Mag 15. For 65 decibels. The Y740 certainly has the better speakers. Okay, so here's the BIOS, the main page, the advanced page. There, you have a performance mode or section. You can click on the processor. You can have it disable or enable hyper-threading, enable or disable turbo boost. And you can actually choose how many cores you want as well. So actually that's not too bad at all. All right, so here I've got HW info loaded up. So you can see in performance mode here, the power limit 1 is 65 watts and power limit 2 is 100 watts. Now switch that down to balance mode. Changes to 45 watts and 65 watts. of course, battery saver mode. It then goes down to 35 watts and 60 watts. So let's do some testing on performance mode. Now, the only fan control you get, is using the enable benchmark mode. As you can hear it. It goes from the fan curve from the power settings you choose to a max fan. So the only buttons on the keyboard deck here are the power button and the power setting button here. So if you press that, it'll switch between like battery saver, performance and balance modes. So we're running the AIDA64 stress test, not the GPU, just the CPU here and the memory. The CPU settles around about 3,500 megahertz, and it's at about about 74 degrees Celsius. Peaks was about 86, so that's not too bad at all. Now, one thing to bear in mind, out of the box there is a 50 millivolt undervolt applied, and the power is settled around about 65 watts. So let's see what effect we have when we increase the fan speed. All right, so now with the max fans, the temperatures have dropped, fluctuating between, about 72 degrees max there. So that's quite a nice reduction. All right, so with Time Spy and AIDA64 going, settled down about still 3,500 megahertz, averaging around about, not bad, 74 degrees. It did pick up to 91. All right, so here's Far Cry 5 Ultra settings. Been playing it for, just over 15 minutes. And this is using the performance mode with the max fan option. Certainly the frame rate is pretty decent, and it does get up to around about 91 degrees with the max fan, but it's typically in high 80s. So let's see what it's like without the max fan. So now just using the performance mode with no max fan, again goes Far Cry 5 here. The sound of the fan sounds exactly the same to me, so it looks like under load the performance mode fan performs just like the max fan anyhow. So there you go, it's still in about mid to high 80s. So in Shadow of the Tomb Raider, playing for a bit, it runs pretty cool. This is just on performance mode with no max fan, talking about 80 degrees here, so that's pretty decent. So in Battlefield 5, using performance mode, non-max fan, it's actually holding around high 80s. This isn't too bad at all. Now I do feel that the keyboard is drawing cool air in through the keyboard, through the AWSD keys, and where the K key is, so that's pretty nice. That'll certainly help with airflow. Well, there you have it. A quick first look at the Eluktronics Mag 15. And I do like it. I like how small it is. It does remind me of the Razer 15 in that regard. Same type of styling, more like rectangular in shape. It's pretty lightweight, similar perhaps to the GS65, but it has a better build quality, I think. It's certainly a bit more rigid, and I do like the styling of it. It's very, it doesn't glamour at you, no stickers, no big red accents, and it's also good. You can, if you don't like the Eluktronics logo here, you can buy these skins and pad it out there, so make it a bit different. So I think it's really good. The cooling seemed okay to me. Now I do have liquid metal on this, and it generally works okay without having to use the max fans, and performance looked pretty good. I like the keyboard too. Of course, it's mechanical keys. I always quite like those. Brown switches a bit more quiet, so that's nice. So fantastic. So anyway, put in the comments below what you'd like me to test, and I'd like to thank you for watching. Remember, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.